We have Representative Barry Loudermilk. There's a story that we have been trying to get to this week, and we just kept putting it off, and I was going to have it next hour. I'm going to try to do it hour 3 today of the podcast, but I have Carrie Lake on in about half an hour, so stand by for that. But Barry has been looking into the January 6th committee and the deleted files that contain critical information. They deleted them before the GOP was able to access them. Now, they have recovered them, but we're looking for the password. And the password is never. Barry Loudermilk is with us now. Congressman, how are you?
Good, Glenn. It's good to be with you again.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
We haven't tried the password never. We may just give that a try and see how that works.
Could do hate Trump. Could do scam. I mean, I could go all day on those. Barry, what is the significance of these files?
Well, that is what we don't know. All we know at this point is they were recovered from a series of hard drives that were given to us, that were the hard drives on the computers of the Select Committee on January 6th. At one point in my communications with Benny Thompson, who was the chairman of the Select Committee, regarding videos that he admitted that they didn't keep that were critical to the investigation. And these were the videos of the depositions, which even Liz Cheney in her recent book says was so important that we videotaped so the American people could see the truth. But they decided not to preserve those. We were communicating with him about that, as well as documents that he sent to the White House and DHS instead of keeping them and giving to us. In his response to me as to what happened to these documents, why didn't he keep them, he mentioned that they handed over 4 terabytes of digital data to us. The problem is we only had less than 3 terabytes of digital data. So when we found out that these videotapes were missing, that we searched for those, they didn't exist, he admitted to not keeping those. I don't know where those are. We're still trying to find those.
You know, can somebody check? I'm pretty sure the NSA has a really big storage cloud in Utah. Can we maybe knock on the door and say, hey, are you a lending library? Can we see some stuff?
That is a possibility there. We've even gone to the House recording studio, who is, when you normally do a deposition and you have it recorded, video recording, you just call the House studio. This is what they do. They bring in the equipment, they record it, right, and they keep it, and they make it available to you. And then when you're ready to archive it, you get it from them. Well, what the Select Committee did was different, because when Benny Thompson told us he didn't keep any of these, we just went to the recording studio and said, can you give us copies of them? They said, well, we don't have any because they didn't allow us to have any. In fact,
my gosh,
they only borrowed our equipment. They wouldn't even use our people to do the recording. So that sounded to me like, wow, this was planned from the beginning. So we hired, trying to figure out where these other 1+ terabytes of data were. We hired an independent outside computer forensics company to take those hard drives and do a low-level scan of them. And as you would expect, a hard drive that someone uses, you're going to find some deleted files. Now, if you see files that were deleted early on in an investigation, you know, it's doing work. You delete duplicates, you get rid of things. But what highlighted to us was files, and particularly some that were deleted, that they recovered, that were deleted just literally days or hours before the Republicans took control. One of those documents that was not password encrypted for some reason, it was found in the recycle bin, was related to the depositions that were sent to the White House. So there's a deleted file that was deleted on January 1st, 2 days before the Republicans took control, related to documents that we know that they had that they sent away and we didn't have access to. There were also 117, I believe the number, of documents that were password protected and encrypted, that we can see the file names. We can see what type of file it is. And those names don't match anything that we already have. So they are unique documents that I believe we haven't seen before, but we can't get into. So how critical they are, we don't know.
Okay,
I just want somebody to give me the password.
So we are saying, don't we have people that do that? I've seen it, in movies and stuff. You put a little box over the password and it's like, password is cake. Like, all right. So anyway, that's my password, by the way. I've got to change it now. But we're talking to Chairman Barry Loudermilk from Georgia, the conservative Republican from Georgia. Is any of this illegal? I mean, aren't you supposed to preserve documents? I know if this happened and Congress wanted information that was on my computer and I just went, whoops, I deleted it all, I think my butt would be in a chair in front of you guys and I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I?
And you could be, yes, because if you deleted it at a point when you knew that Congress was looking for it, or you knew the courts were looking for it, yes, I mean, you're free to delete anything you want today. But once you know,
and they did know,
or a letter, and they did know, we sent them letters of preservation. The clerk's office has rules regarding what should be preserved, and videotapes of depositions are part of that.
So why,
however,
is nothing happening?
Well, we've got to know exactly the extent of where things are. And, my number one priority is getting the
password. Yeah.
So we can, not only the passwords for these documents, but getting the documents from the White House and Homeland Security that they have. And so we are, for lack of a better term, working with the White House right now. The 4 depositions they have these are House documents. They are not executive branch. These are documents owned by the House of Representatives. They are White House employees who testified before the committee, and the chairman sent those to the White House. We requested them. They didn't respond, requested them again. They responded and said, okay, we'll send them to you once we redact them. So they sent me 4 documents that belong to the House, so heavily redacted, they're literally pages.
Look, Barry.
So
what do you think about this? Let me just offer. Yeah. I can get on the air now. I could probably find somebody that goes by the name of One Eye, and he can have that thing hacked open, pretty quickly. And we do it, in the Capitol, under supervision and stuff. But I think we could get that done. I cannot believe, with the power and the might of the United States of America, we can't open up those files.
We're going to be looking at we've contacted some different firms, if you will, that have technology to try to get into these. Good. Now, some of them say with the new encryption standards, they may not be able to, but we're looking at doing that. In the meantime, we're just trying to find somebody that has the passwords. I asked Benny Thompson for him, just a simple letter saying, hey, we found these documents, not making an accusation here, but they're encrypted. Don't know why you encrypt them, but we need the passwords. And he responded with a 3-page letter. I think he used Ultra MAGA in it about 8 or 10 times, making all kind of blanket accusations.
That seems like obstruction.
Said, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, seems like obstruction.
And which could be the case. It could be he doesn't know what the committee did for 2 years. But somebody on the staff does.
Okay.
Somebody knows what those passwords are.
Yeah. Talking to Representative Barry Loudermilk about January 6th, there's one other thing I want to hit quickly. This whole pipe bomb story is falling apart quickly. I mean, all of the January 6th narrative is falling apart. Any update on the pipe bomb thing? I mean, this week we saw the video of an undercover Capitol policeman who was supposedly just a passerby at the beginning. Now we find out he was Capitol Police, and he spots it, then goes over to the Secret Service. They finish their sandwiches, let kids walk by it before they get out of their car and then send the robot out to disarm it. What the hell is going on with this?
That is a good question. We've been working with Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky. This is something he wanted to take on as a member of the Judiciary Committee and the Weaponization Committee. So we've been working closely with him, pulling video records, doing some investigative work ourselves. We released in the last couple of weeks that it was an undercover Capitol Police officer. But even before we knew that, we have video of the person who placed the pipe bomb. You can watch him place it the night before, and it was obvious that he was putting it in a place to be found.
Yes.
The Secret Service had the Vice President-elect, Kamala Harris, at that building. They were there sitting literally feet away from this pipe bomb and never saw it. I mean, they are supposed to be doing sweeps of the building before you bring somebody there, and that pipe bomb had sat there from the night before.
If you look at the pipe bomb, it was like designed by Megamind. I mean, it's so clear. It's got the kitchen timer on it. It is so clear that it was meant to be found, and that it's a pipe bomb that my dog would have sniffed it out. How did they miss it? Except they did find it 20 minutes before the vote was supposed to go down on Capitol Hill. Wow. And that's where the timer was stopped. It stopped at 20 minutes before the hour or whatever. Wow. What a coincidence that is. And why is it that Kamala Harris, we didn't even know that where she was and anything about this for a year? And how is it that this is the greatest scandal and the darkest day in American history, and yet the people that would gain the most from saying there were 2 pipe bombs, they planned on blowing up buildings, haven't said a word about it? Why?
And the FBI pulls resources from the investigation and moves them over to helping prosecute the people that were there on January 6th. It seems to me a lone pipe bomber would be more dangerous that's still out there
than Grandma?
And people who have already, even if they did something wrong, which there were people that did. I mean, there was violence that day. But there are other people that they're spending an awful lot of resources on what should be misdemeanor charges, that you're going to pull resources from investigating a pipe bomb to go after these folks. And then there's the issue of the gallows, the infamous gallows that Biden is using in his campaign right now.
Yeah. And they were built the night before in front of police.
Like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody tear that down? Mm-hmm. I mean, with all the security, with all the police, with U.S. Park Police, the FBI, Metropolitan Police, the U.S. Capitol Police, in droves all around that area that morning.
And we have it all on tape.
Why did not somebody report it?
Yeah, and we have it all on tape, and we can't find the guys that built it, can we?
Well, the FBI sure hasn't.
That's weird.
An independent investigative reporter that's doing tremendous work, much like Steve Baker have been doing.
Thank you.
Has been working on this, and he's gotten more leads than the FBI has.
Yeah, that's weird.
Let me tell you, Steve has done a tremendous job. We spent a lot of time with him. Of course, he's been in our office looking at videos, and he's doing a great service to the American people by exposing some in-depth corruption.
I know.
And, our prayers are with him and our support with him as well.
Thank you. I will say, everybody at the Blaze, and I ask the audience to do the same. Pray for him, because we're expecting him to be arrested any day. And we don't even know the charges, and they won't tell him the charges. All he did was investigate. He was there just as a reporter, investigating. And now that he's exposing things, all of a sudden, they're going to file charges. So any day. Thank you so much for your help on that and everything else, Barry. Appreciate it. God bless.
Well, the American people deserve to know the truth.
They sure do. Thank you. Congressman Barry Loudermilk, from the great state of Georgia.